Yeah, let's first give a huge shout out to the incredible Colorado breweries that were absolutely outstanding at the U.S. Beer Open. U.S. Open Beer Championship. There it is. It's a long name. We took home, Colorado itself, 38 medals.
It's a lot.
9 gold, and 9 of those were gold. So
yeah,
it's pretty sweet in itself. They killed it. They crushed it. And that's why we're like one of the best states for beer.
That's right. And I think it goes hand in hand with the Olympics. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We're also going to discuss some latest trends in sustainable brewing. We always like to highlight that. It's always on the top of our minds and lists. We're going to spotlight even more so on Wing Coop and their sustainable practices, and a new one that we're going to talk about, Riff Raff Brewing out of Pagosa Springs and their innovative use of geothermal hot springs.
Ooh, interesting. Grab your favorite beer, sit back, relax, enjoy, and hang out with us for the next little bit as we talk about the beautiful, wonderful craft beer world. This week's brew news would not be fulfilling at all if we didn't talk about how kick-ass Colorado was in the U.S. World Beer Cup Championship.
We're flexing just a
We're
little
flexing.
bit.
Took home 38 awards, 9
crazy.
were gold. Yeah. And the Homebrew Award, is that the right way to say that, went to someone in Castle Rock, Colorado. Yeah. So that's super cool in itself. It happens every July. It's really cool to have that going, especially on an Olympic year. I feel like you just kind of just keep getting hit with awesome awards and the greatest of the great for a week straight, and doesn't get a whole lot more fun than that.
That's right.
And some of the breweries you want to look for next time you're in Colorado, we're getting some sweet lists made up for you, so you can come to us if you're in the area, looking for new breweries that clearly kick ass because they're rocking out awards.
That's right.
All right, some of the breweries that you have to check out. Bull and Brush Brewing in Denver, Colorado.
River North Brewery, Denver, Colorado.
Verboten Brewery in Loveland, Colorado.
Launchpad Brewery in Aurora, Colorado.
Cellar West in Lafayette.
Denver Beer Co. in Denver.
Weird.
Yep.
Knucklepuck Brewing in Longmont.
Downhill Brewing, Greenwood Village.
Nailed it. Echo Brewing in Erie.
Lukey Brewing out of Arvada, Colorado.
Right down the road. Good for them.
Yeah.
Liquid Mechanics in Louisville, one of my faves.
Hell yeah. Cannonball Creek Brewing, Golden, Colorado. Hit up the IPAs.
Yeah, they're like one of the most winningest breweries in Colorado. Them and Denver beer. They kill it all the time.
Yeah.
Groovy, which is non-alcoholic out of Denver. And honestly, I did not know they were out of Denver.
I didn't either.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, right. We got you, though. We got you. We should have been exploiting that. All right. Beyond the Mountain Brewing Co. out of Boulder, Colorado.
And another favorite, New Terrain Brewing out of Golden.
The most Colorado brewery.
The most Colorado brewery. They were on our list for that. So congratulations to all of them. And if you want to focus specifically on any travels that are just the gold medal winners, you got Denver Beer Co., Denver Beer Co., Cellar West, Verboten, and then River North won multiple gold medals because they all kick ass. So if you're in the area looking to hit up some gold medal winners, even if they don't have the beer that won on, they clearly are good at what they're doing. So don't go away just because the one beer that they won a medal for. We had that all the time at Brews, that one that people would come in for the medal winner. And if it was sold out, they'd leave. And it was like, well, clearly we don't suck at what we're doing. So go in, open-minded, check out lots of stuff, do a frickin' flight, have a great time.
They probably have something similar on tap.
Probably have something good. Yeah. That's all you need, something good, right?
Yeah.
So why should breweries submit medals in for competitions?
That's a good question.
Why should breweries submit beers in for competitions is a better question.
That's fair. I heard what I wanted to hear. I heard what you meant, and it made no sense.
It made no sense. And there's kind of like a conundrum around this. Some people are like, oh, we don't need that. It's expensive. It's just like a money grab and you're not winning. But there are a lot of value to it. And even just going into the competition gives you a lot of, honestly, just weight within the space for the enthusiasts. Beer judging competitions have been around for a long time. They range from old world and traditional brewing techniques to the modern championships that we know in the craft beer movement today. Some notable coming up here soon: GABF, the Great American Beer Fest, the World Beer Cup, and then the U.S. Open Beer Championship that we just are talking about. So like I said, like they do cost money. Some breweries maybe are in and out of it. If you see a brewery or you go like one of your favorites and you wonder why, like it's not cheap to go into these, especially not to win, but they do win. Man, you really gotta like support these breweries. And if you're a brewery, like market the hell out of it. It shows, like we talked about earlier, you are a quality brewery. It does not mean it has to be just that one beer. Clearly, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It gives you great weight. Make sure you're marketing it. Make sure you're hitting that up. Make sure that on your draft list, people know that's an award winner.
Yeah.
There's times that I'll go into breweries and order beer, and it's a style I don't like. I don't like at all, but if it's won an award, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah,
like,
why not?
Like literally, why not?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of weight that goes around winning medals and championships, or having a degree in college, right? Like it just puts that extra emphasis, and at least like you have a lot of focus on what you're doing, right? Like you're really good at one thing, or you're really good at this subject, or you're really good at running a category or whatever it is in and of itself. And for the beer world, that oftentimes leads to the styles of beers that brewers love to produce.
Yeah.
Because it is an arts and crafts world, right? Like this is the craft beer industry, and there's so much artistry that goes behind it. So to be able to put a medal behind that, it says a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely used to err on the side of, oh, like they're just brewing for medals, but I think I kind of get it, right? Because especially from the enthusiast perspective, and being such a big sports fan myself, like, you know, the Los Angeles Lakers are a 17-time NBA championship. That says a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that says a lot about the organization and the staff and the players and just like the entire foundation and process that goes into building a team like that. So if you're going into Cannonball Creek, which is one of the most winningest breweries in the state of Colorado because of their IPAs, their love for IPAs, and because they do it really fucking well.
It's so clean. So good.
Why wouldn't you want to check that out?
Yep.
That was a rant. But
No, I love it. I couldn't agree more. Like it's a really cool thing to have these awards. You should be really proud of them. There's also kind of a piece of, if you are a brewery that likes to specifically focus on certain styles, like don't necessarily turn in a one-off for an award,
right?
Because then it kind of starts like bottlenecking you into that type
That's
of
a good
style.
point, too.
So like be responsible with it and save yourself money. Again, like why put it in if that's not really your jam? You just happen to make a really good one. Keep that going, and that's great for your customers. And then from customers' standpoint, like wow breweries for it, like applaud them for it, like give them the recognition, like drink that beer, tell them it's good. You know what I mean? Like those are all really great things to do because they should be proud of it. So check those ones out. Like I said, I will almost always, the amount of times I've like done a flight and been like, I really don't like that style, but they won a silver at GABF. Like how in the world do I not at least try it? Like you gotta try it. You gotta try it. So hopefully you liked our little rant about beer competitions. I think they're really cool. At some point, we can't wait to get in and start doing some beer judging ourselves. And, you know, get to put our pinkies up and talk about how good beer is, because we don't do that already. We do. And yeah, next time you're in Colorado, check out some of these really like big award-winning breweries. Check out ones that haven't won. But yeah, if you need kind of a starting point to launch or know of an area, then like check out award-winning ones.
Yep.
And most of those people are going to steer you to their other favorite breweries. So it's a great place to start.
For some more local Colorado news, because we still believe we have some of the best beer in the world, and because this particular local brewery that we're about to spotlight is taking brewing beer to, honestly, a level that I didn't realize or was naive to know was possible. Anyway, but
it's like a low level. They're going to the lowest level.
Ooh, that's a foreshadow.
It's confusing and a compliment.
And it's actually two. You'll see in our main interview today with head brewer Kat Has from Wyncote Brewing. We're going to learn about how they use steam to heat their water at Wyncote Brewing, and which is really cool. Didn't know it. Blew my mind when we got there. Yeah. But who we're really talking about in this particular news segment here is Riff Raff Brewing out of Pagosa Springs, Colorado.
Pagosa Springs.
Beautiful.
So
you can go there. There's a lot of great golf, whitewater rafting, hiking, all kinds of stuff. Breweries, obviously. Anyway, so they're brewing what they call earth-powered beer. That's what drew me in. That's what we're hoping is going to draw you in, especially with our fancy little titles and headlines. But what is that?
I hope they have awesome T-shirts for it.
I would
buy that T-shirt.
I bet
like
they
if
do.
that's not a like the earth just like flexing it up, that'd be I'd be really
Isn't
disappointed.
Sam driving to Pagosa?
Oh, Sam, bring us back
Bring
some.
me a goddamn t-shirt.
Yeah, and a t-shirt if they're
Please.
cool.
Anyway, so I'm sure they're super cool. So saw this article, headline caught our eye, and it was like, what the hell is an earth-powered beer, right? We just learned about steam-powered beer.
Yeah.
What's earth-powered beer? So Riff Raff is actually utilizing what is known as one of the world's deepest, remember in your foreshadowing, deepest geothermal hot springs and brewing beer with it.
So cool.
That is what earth-powered beer is. If
So
that
cool.
doesn't draw you in, I don't know. I don't know if you are the outdoorsy person I thought you were.
You
But-
probably don't like our show if you didn't think that was cool.
But anyway, the hot water in what's known as this great spring on the south side of the San Juan River, opposite of Riff Raff, provides energy for the entire brewery, including, of course, what we've seen in our tours, that complex web of pipes, right? Remember how we're showing all the piping process, malting and water and all that stuff? That the hot spring powers that whole thing. So Riff Raff's beer, Pagosa's other healing waters, as that's one of their taglines. I also like that. Definitely wanted to highlight it. According to the head brewers, so it's brewed with fresh water and then it's heated by this hot spring, which is at 141 degree waters,
Cool.
which flows from across the river. I've only been to a few hot springs myself, and I myself definitely am not the best at regulating heat, so I can't get into those super, super hot springs. Like, I'm probably tapping out at the 111s before I'm like, I may pass the fuck out in this
Very
water.
specific. How do you
Yeah.
know 111?
Well, because they label the,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
Obviously, I haven't been to a lot of them.
Only a couple, and it was in a recent relationship endeavor, so whatever.
141 seems
That's hot. Well, and
Seems
it
hot.
so it makes. Oh, I would. Yeah, and I don't think people can get into that, or they shouldn't get into that.
it's
But
got to be close
I think-
to maxing out.
I think
the heat.
Indian hot springs go into the 120s,
Yeah, I don't know what
and Uray is like that 120.
I don't know what the heat
Maybe
is
130?
that
I don't
you
know.
can get into.
I don't know, but
I
anyway,
don't know. We'll post it here. We'll look it up,
Yeah.
and then Sam will
it's just
drop
gonna
it in.
be us sitting in a hot springs. Please cut the tits out. They're often nude, which is amazing.
right below the
Actually,
water.
you know what? Get yourself to Pagosa Springs. I'm sure there's like a nude hot springs nearby, or
Yeah.
Uray, or Indian hot springs, and it was one of the most beautiful things you can do. Drink a beer while you're doing it. It's wonderful. Actually, you're not supposed to drink while you're doing that, but whatever. Okay. So the overarching theme of this topic is often something we highlight on, and that's sustainable energy and highlighting that. So the
Warms our little hearts.
it really does. Keep it simple. Leverage the resources around you, of
Yeah.
course, in a good way, the best that you can, and try not to overconsume and moderate. So the breweries that are utilizing steam, utilizing geothermal hot springs, I don't think there's many of them. I think it's just them for heating water, and the rest of the brewery are unique due to that sustainable practice, eco-friendly practices, and they harness this natural energy, which significantly reduces their carbon footprint and energy costs. So there's a lot of good win-win there, right? So it's super innovative. It supports environmental conservation, but also often results in a distinct local character and story, right? That will draw you in. You should definitely go visit it.
Yeah.
Why?
We should go visit it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go whenever. A little busy this week, maybe next week, but would love to go before the summer ends if we can make that happen. So if you're sitting there and maybe you're naive like me, or you just didn't know, and you're like, what do breweries use if they're not using steam and geothermal hot springs?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a little silly, but oftentimes breweries are typically rely on conventional energy resources like we're using natural gas, electricity, propane, those sort of things. So if you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's who I pay for my energy bill. So maybe that makes it even more unique to realize that you're using steam or geothermal energy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as you know, natural gas, electricity, propane, that sort of thing, we get a lot of fluctuating prices with it. We have a lot of debate about resources and the energy that we consume, reuse, don't reuse, use, and it oftentimes leads to a great debate. So I feel like we're always going to err on the side of renewable or sustainable energy, or using less, right? And when you can use less, often that is always more.
But also, it puts a little bit, not a lot of that in general is in your control, but I know like the increase of electricity, especially for like breweries that use like electricity to power, or propane, and those costs all went up. It's just why your beers all went up in prices. Like it wasn't just equipment like hops and grains that went up and shipping. It was literally like down to the energy level had gone up. Like I remember what I was told, like 50, 100%. It was significant that there is a huge spike in that.
Yeah.
So having something that is more sustainable is going to cut your costs down long run. I don't know what the cost is to get it started. I don't know where that balance is. They probably do. Maybe we can get them to tell us about it, and we'll do a little interview. That'd be dope.
And one thing I do want to say really quick too before we wrap up is something that Kat's going to allude to in the interview is that the steam energy resource in Denver is actually something that they're looking to wean out.
Yeah.
So that's a story we really got to keep our eye on.
Yeah. We got some time still. We have some time now.
Do you remember what time?
I thought it was like 2049. I thought it was by like
very specific.
Because I think that's the last year. So I think by like 2050 is when they're like it's done. Is what I think I remember.
Okay, then definitely have a lot of time. But would be curious as if it's just like out of energy or whatever.
Yeah, there's not enough because it was like a strip of Denver that uses it. It wasn't like a ton of businesses.
100 to 150 businesses still use it in downtown Denver. And if you haven't been to downtown Denver, get your butt there. But if you have been, you're very familiar with the steam coming up through the city streets, and you like to walk through them like I do.
I don't. I always thought it came out of like the sewage.
No, it's steam.
Oof. I think of like New York, and I'm like, that's just sewage steam.
That's just Cleveland steamers.
But I've always avoided them.
A lot of hot ass rising up through the
Monroe.
streets.
I'm like, that's just poop steam.
Gross. Okay. Anyway, check it out.
Oh, total side tangent, but it's news related because it's about the Olympics. Did you see that a bunch of the swimmers are really grumpy about the river because like it was super gross and like had a lot of E. coli, and then they cleaned it up, and then the mayor jumped in before the Olympics started to like prove that it was clean enough to swim in. Mm-hmm. But there's been a lot of conflicting results on like testing the water of it being like up to 5 times higher than it's supposed to be safe. Right. And so all these swimmers are like, the thing today is like how many swimmers are going to show up sick is going to determine how clean the water was. So it's just like waiting right now if a bunch of swimmers end up like super, super sick with E. coli.
I mean, Paris is gross.
So gross. It's nasty. I did not enjoy Paris. I enjoyed Paris.
I wasn't there long enough to really
That's fair.
say a yay. We were only there for like 24 hours.
But we hit up a lot of shit.
Amazing time, but it stunk, right? So we were on.
It smelled like piss.
It was just gross. And some cities.
It happens.
I like that.
Yeah, in New York also. Every city stinks in the summer. That's just what it is. Everything smells.
There in the summer.
No, it was hotter than it was supposed to be. Yeah. But yeah, anytime it's warm, every city smells like hot garbage. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Brew News. Yeah, we hit up award-winning breweries. We talked about sustainability practices. We talked about unique energy sources to heat up the water for brewing practices. And we gave you a great list of who to focus on if you're coming into the Colorado area. And the breweries you should hit up if you want to, make sure you're hitting up award-winning breweries. It's a great place to start. There's a lot of breweries, and if you need a launch point, it's a great place to start. It's not a bad one.
It's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, follow, and all the above. Interact with us. Let us know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear. We're excited to keep talking about the stories of craft beer with you.
And if you love the show as much as we do, which might be difficult because we really love this show. On our website, we've got some really great merch. It's a great way to support us and keep the show up and kicking and running. I'm not kidding. I get compliments on these shirts every single time that I go out. You will too. They're great. Like, what a great shirt to go out and like have beer with. Literally, like, was at a sour bar and they were like, "That's the fucking best shirt you can possibly have here." And I'm like, I know. I picked it on purpose. So go check it out. BodyByBeerPodcast.com. Go to the merch. It's right up at the top of the page. It's easy to find. And if we want to like search it by beer styles, I got it organized out that way. I got shirt designs, but if you're like, I love sours, you click the sour button. All of the shirts, tanks, sweatshirts, everything, guys, girls, all of it's under that same thing. So you can even shop by your favorite beer style.
Sounds like a win to me.
Neat, right? All right, go check it out. BodyByBeerPodcast.com.